gonna lie, dude. I'm gonna say it. I'm fucking sick of getting Nihongo Josu. I'm done. I'm so
Wait,
done
how did
with
it take
it.
like 7 years?
Well, just you know what? I always thought there was a part of me that was like, it's super endearing. It's it's very humbling. That I look clearly not Japanese, and Japanese people are like, it validates that my Japanese hasn't fallen off a cliff. Like considering that I don't actively study it as much as I used to because I just don't have as much time anymore.
Yeah,
but like. It's gotten to the point now where, like, I was in Harajuku a few days ago with Aki, and we were just doing some shopping or whatever, and I think I got every single store we stopped at immediately. Nihongo jozu desu ne. To me. And it's just like, I know exactly why they're asking that.
Yeah.
And like, I don't blame them for it. But it's this, now you've just started this conversation of, well, why are you so Nihongo Jozu, right?
Interrogation.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Yeah, it's like, so like, how did you study it? Did you, how long have you lived in Japan? There's a myriad of questions that it can go down.
Yeah.
And I've just gotten so sick of just having to do the same fucking dialogue option over and over. It's like, so my mom's Japanese. I lived here for a while. I studied it.
You're the half NPC now.
Yeah, it's gone so, but now after all of the times that I've been Nihongo Jozu, I figured out the most optimal like conversation ender.
Right.
I just go, thanks. No more. That's all the info you're getting. Because I used to have to be like, my mom's Japanese, or like, I lived here, I studied here. Now if I just say arigato, that's it. And they're like, okay, clearly this person does not want to talk.
You chose the secret option route that just ends the
option D.
That just ends the conversation.
Do you guys still get it often?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel towards it?
I'm chill with it.
You're chill. Yeah, well, you haven't had it as much as me.
Also, I'm not Japanese as well.
For me, it's almost like an open invitation to kind of speak Japanese and practice a little bit. So I'm kind of chill with it, but obviously you don't need that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It depends if they're nice or not, if they're annoying. Or...
Oh no! Like, granted, like especially like store clerks and stuff like that who ask it, super nice for the most part. They're just trying to like have conversation, right? Or, they're like genuinely impressed, but it's like now I'm just kind of like, I've done my shopping. I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, it's certain people when they say it and it starts a conversation, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is gonna be a long conversation. Like mainly taxi drivers. Taxi drivers here, because they're normally really old. You either get like really good conversations or just like.
You know what's so weird? I've never had it in a taxi.
Really?
Yeah, never.
I find that Japanese taxi drivers, they're either like
really talkative,
or just completely silent. And you cannot get a word out of them.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just like getting really lucky, or I don't catch it taxis as often as you guys. But like, I always get the taxi drivers that are just 2-word answers.
I got in the cab today with my parents, and it's always awkward because if when there's like 4 of you, and some of the taxi drivers, they don't want people to sit in the front. It's just like a preference thing, but it's like, hey, there's 4 of us. We gotta sit in the front.
Of course, yeah.
And so it's like sometimes they're like, oh, fine, I'll move my stuff. And some of them are like, bro, some of them they got shit everywhere, and you're like, oh. Sat in this one taxi, dude was super old, definitely like late 80s, like maybe 90s. And dude, I sat down on the front seat and it was wet, and I was like, oh fuck,
the fuck.
I was like, oh, this is so nasty. I sit down. Dude is so old. And he's like, oh, dude, you're Japanese. Yeah, I'm like, oh, thanks, man. He's like, oh, where are you from? I go, I'm Irish. He's like, oh, gentleman country. I was like, maybe back in your time. Maybe not so much now
anymore.
I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. He's like, he starts just saying English words. Just the most random shit. He's like, oh.
Those are the best, though.
Yeah. I had that recently where I was just kind of waiting around in a store. I was looking at some clothes. Yeah. And this like young Japanese guy like walks up to me and, just is like, oh, this one, very popular color. Right?
I love it. I love it.
And it's like, and in Japanese, I said back and I'm like, oh yeah, I bought some clothes from here before.
Yeah.
And then the guy was obviously thrown back and he's like, oh, Nihonjin. And then he's just like, but then afterwards in English, he was just like, "Oh, you're Japanese, very good."
I love that shit.
And then he was like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Okay, if I say Japan, things are just gonna get complicated." Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, I'm from Australia," in the most Australian accent possible. And he fucking goes, and when foreigners think of Australia, right? Lots of different things. Kangaroo, boomerangs, whatever, right? The most stereotypical shit a Japanese person can think of. This dude legit goes, woman basketball. I guess so.
Oh, I did not expect that.
Top 10 things Australia is famous for.
I'm like, I mean, we have a strong women's basketball team, but like, it's not the first thing I think of when I think of Australia.
I
You
had
know,
so many things running through my mind.
Yeah.
I did not think it was good.
I was throwing it back, being like, are we? Yeah, I guess we're known for women's basketball. Yeah, and I was like,
funny.
yeah. Women's basketball. All right.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, that's so weird.
So I did not see that coming.
The old man in this taxi who's like saying some weird shit. He was saying like, I like beer and a whiskey. I was like, okay, thanks, man. He'd be like, that'll be 2 yen. I was like, Nissan. Yeah, it's 2 yen. I was like, okay, well, all
right.
I was like, that's a steep discount, sir. I'll take it. But dude, this man was. We got to stop red lights. No, not even kidding.
Yeah.
Man pulled out the full newspaper at the stoplight, started reading the newspaper,
God
covered
damn.
the whole windshield, reading the newspaper. I was like, "Oh, you gonna help hold it? Like, you good? Like,
like,
what
can
are
you see
doing?
the lights,
What
or-
are you doing, sir? Like, the lights had changed 4 minutes ago, and we haven't moved, sir. Genuinely, he just whipped it out.
Oh my God.
I couldn't believe it.
I've noticed taxi drivers in Japan do
Osaka, by the way.
Oh,
Okay,
of course.
okay.
This
They extra don't give a
shit
fuck.
would not have it in Tokyo.
No.
I don't know, because a lot of taxi drivers I've like been with, they've always had they always have the clipboard, right? Do
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
'cause they-
yeah.
Well, because okay, I figured it out. right?
Okay.
What is that?
Well, I think they keep track of like
Everyone that's got in their taxi or something,
even
like
though
that.
the meter already does this.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's like I'm not sure what they're clocking, but a lot of the taxi drivers, if not all of them, they, even though you get paid this amount for the journey, all
Yeah.
of them are like employed
Right.
by a company. Most of them, I think, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
A lot of them are. And so that's not their pay, what you're paying them.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
on
yeah.
salary. So I think they're like keeping track of something.
They're
wish
keeping track of something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I always thought they were like racially profiling. You know, like male, white, 30.
secret police. Every taxi driver in Japan is just a secret police officer, just tracking your movements.
Yeah, in case the police come being like,
Yeah.
did you see a white male in his 30s get in your taxi? It's like,
Yeah.
I have the
Okay,
proof right
yes,
here. I wrote it
it's
down.
right here, officer. No, because what always confused me is that I assume they would keep track of like the fare or something, but they never ever do it after you finish your journey.
No.
It's always
Always at the lights.
It's always mid-light. Sometimes the lights
yeah,
go
they
and they're
do.
still fucking writing and their hands are off the steering wheel and they just fucking go. They're like, no, I need to finish this racial profiling right here.
I'm gonna sit next to them and just start writing stuff too, make them anxious, and then I close the book to death now.
You just, if you're sitting in the front seat, just stop playing tic tac toe. Just like, yeah, your move.
Yeah, but no, I guess to us, like the Nihongo Jozu is kind of like most of the time just a conversation starter. Do Japanese people find it as endearing when we just start speaking broken?
I always do. I always
when we-
say Ego Jules to them as well.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
with
no, I've
that.
started doing that as well.
I've started doing it to everyone.
Yeah. But do Japanese people find it as endearing when we speak broken ass Japanese? Be like,
I think so.
beer ga suki desu.
Oh, dude, Japanese people love it.
Kore wa karaage.
Well, I think it's like
They
it's-
love that shit.
Even if they don't, it's like I think they just prefer it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
I think in a lot of the minds of Japanese people, like stereotypically, I guess, like,
Yeah.
I think the general consensus is, oh, you're going to the effort to try and speak to me in the local language. And I
Yeah.
think that in and of itself is worth, I guess, like the praise or the respect, right? Because, it's so easy to just be like, yeah, you know what? There's weird Japanese language. I'm not going to learn it. My natural language is better.
Yeah.
Just deal with it kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think it's the idea of like, oh, I can only speak Japanese.
Yeah.
And you're participating in speaking Japanese no matter how broken it is. Hey, you know what? Nihongo fucking Jozu, dog. Let's go.
I think
yeah.
because there's a lot of people online are always like, man, it's so disrespectful to go to a country and not know any of the language. And it's like, well, I mean, funny, a lot of Japanese people don't expect you to.
No.
Like, that's like whether you should or shouldn't. It doesn't really matter. It's the expectations that
I
are
think a lot of
there.
Asian countries are like